Think about how you hold the people you love, with patience when they are struggling, with understanding when they can't give their best, with that quiet way of reminding them of their worth even when they can't see it themselves. When they make mistakes, you don't reduce them to that mistake. When they go through a hard time, you don't turn their exhaustion into an accusation. When they're not at their best, you don't punish them for being human. You stay, you listen, you wait, you give space, you offer kindness without turning it into something they owe you. And you do it so naturally that sometimes you don't even notice how extraordinary it is. Not everyone knows how to love like that. Not everyone knows how to correct without hurting, to stay without demanding perfection, to support without humiliating. But you do. Now take some of that same patience and turn it toward yourself. Not as a nice phrase, not as something that sounds good and then gets forgotten, but as a real practice, a daily practice. Imperfect, yes, but deeply necessary. The practice of holding yourself with the same compassion you offer to others. The practice of not turning every mistake into a sentence. The practice of not speaking to yourself with a cruelty you would never use with someone you love. And it's worth asking, why is this so difficult? Because it's not that you don't know how to be patient. You do. You prove it all the time. With friends, with family, with people who are hurting, with people who are confused, with people who repeat the same mistakes and still receive another chance from you. The ability is there. You are not lacking the skill. What's often missing is the belief that you also deserve to receive from yourself what you so freely give to others. At some point, you learned something unfair. You learned that patience was for others, but you had to earn it. That other people's mistakes were understandable, but yours were unforgivable. That other people's sadness deserved care, but yours needed to be fixed quickly. That when others needed time, it made sense, but when you needed time, it was a disappointment. That standard was never fair, and it was never true. You are just as human as the people you offer your patience to, just as vulnerable to exhaustion, just as affected by loss, pressure, uncertainty, and invisible wounds, just as deserving of understanding. Maybe that's why one of the hardest relationships to change is the one you have with yourself. Because for years, you may have been listening to an inner voice that believes being hard on you is the only way to keep you on track. A voice that calls cruelty discipline. A voice that confuses pressure with strength. A voice that sees softness as a threat. But patience with yourself doesn't destroy your growth. It makes it possible. Cruelty can push you for a while. It can make you move out of fear. It can force you to function. It can keep you going. But it rarely builds lasting peace. Constant harshness wears you down. It exhausts you. It keeps you on edge with yourself. It makes you feel like self-love is something you'll earn someday when you finally stop failing. But that day never comes the way you imagine it. There will always be something to improve, something that still hurts, something you are still learning. And if your patience depends on becoming flawless first, you'll spend too much of your life living under impossible pressure. And a life lived like that begins to feel less like a home and more like a test you can never pass. Think about this. The people you love don't grow because you constantly remind them of everything they lack. Most of the time, they grow because your patience gives them a safe place to try again. Because with you, one mistake doesn't erase everything else. Because instead of condemning them for being in progress, you allow them to be in progress. You need a place like that within yourself too. A space where making a mistake doesn't mean you are unworthy, where being tired doesn't mean you are lazy, where needing time doesn't mean you are falling behind in life, where feeling confused doesn't mean you are incapable, where not being okay is not a reason to abandon yourself. When you make a mistake, try to look at it the way you would look at a friend's mistake, not with indifference, not pretending it doesn't matter, but with perspective, with honesty without humiliation. Ask yourself what happened, what you were missing that day, what you were carrying inside, what needs to be repaired, what you can learn. But don't turn that mistake into your identity. Don't turn a moment into a final verdict about who you are. And when you fall short of the person you're trying to become, don't walk away from yourself. Stay. Stay with yourself the way you would stay with someone you love when they're going through something difficult. Stay without punishment. Stay without inner sarcasm. Stay even when you're disappointed. Stay even when part of you wants to escape the discomfort of being human. That is also love. We often think self-love means always feeling good about ourselves, having unshakable confidence, walking through life with perfect certainty. But most of the time, self-love looks more like this: not abandoning yourself on your hard days, not turning your pain into an accusation, not demanding clarity when you're in the middle of confusion, not expecting heroic strength when you're just trying to stay afloat. When you're going through something difficult, try to offer yourself what you would offer someone else in the same place: kindness, space, time, a little less pressure, a little more understanding. Because the standards we apply to ourselves are often harsher than the ones we apply to anyone else, quicker to judge, slower to understand. And many times we defend that harshness with words that sound reasonable. We call it responsibility, we call it discipline, we call it ambition. And yes, responsibility matters, standards matter, growth matters. But there is a huge difference between responsibility and cruelty, between recognizing a mistake and punishing yourself for it for days, between wanting to improve and living at war with yourself, between discipline and self-rejection, between correction and humiliation. Patience doesn't remove responsibility, it makes it livable. It creates the conditions for change to take root without every mistake destroying your motivation. Because real growth rarely happens in the soil of constant shame. It happens where there is enough safety to try, fail, learn, repair, and try again. And maybe this is hard to believe, because you've spent so long thinking your harshness was the only thing holding you together. Maybe you're afraid if you become more compassionate with yourself, you'll lose your drive. Maybe softness feels dangerous because no one ever taught you it could be a strength. But look honestly at what all that harshness has created inside you. More peace, more freedom, more ability to carry your life, or more exhaustion, anxiety, shame, and the constant feeling of not being enough. Maybe you don't need more harshness. Maybe you need a new way of being with yourself. A way that doesn't give up truth, but doesn't give up tenderness either. A way that allows you to correct yourself without destroying yourself, to learn without hating yourself, to take responsibility without turning every flaw into proof that you are not enough. Being patient with yourself doesn't mean you don't care. It means you understand that real transformation takes time. That some habits don't change overnight. That some wounds don't heal at the speed of your impatience. That even when you need to face the truth, that truth can come wrapped in dignity. Sometimes being patient with yourself looks like this: resting before you break, asking for help before you collapse, accepting that today you can't do everything, starting again without insulting yourself for stepping back, speaking to yourself with kindness after a hard day, allowing yourself to learn slowly, letting go of the need for immediate results in deep processes. None of that is weakness. None of that is mediocrity. None of that takes you further away from becoming who you want to be. In fact, it may be the only thing that can get you there without breaking you along the way. Be as patient with yourself as you are with the people you love. When you're tired, don't speak to yourself like an enemy. When you fail, don't become your harshest judge. When things take longer than expected, don't confuse slowness with lack of worth. When you're not okay, don't demand that you pretend you are. When you fall back into something you thought you had overcome, don't use it as proof that nothing has changed. Because you too are someone who deserves to be held gently. You too are someone worth looking at with compassion. You too are someone who is trying. And sometimes, trying honestly is already a lot. You always deserved a softer inner voice. You always deserved a form of discipline that didn't humiliate you. You always deserved to grow without hating yourself in the process. And maybe realizing that is one of the bravest things a person can do, because there is courage in pushing forward, but there is also courage in choosing to stop hurting yourself. There is courage in changing, but there is also courage in deciding you don't have to break yourself to become better. So today, even in a small way, try this. Speak to yourself more gently. Look at yourself with more context. Remember everything you've been carrying. Accept that some parts of you are still learning. Stop asking yourself for a level of perfection you would never demand from someone you love. And the next time you're not at your best, don't abandon yourself. Stay. Stay with yourself. Stay with patience. Stay with honesty. Stay with kindness. Stay long enough to realize maybe you never needed more punishment. Maybe what you needed was presence. Your own presence. Your own understanding. Your own hand over your heart reminding you of something simple and powerful. Be as patient with yourself as you are with the people you love, not because you've earned it, not because you've reached your best version, not because everything is resolved, but because you are a human life, and every human life deserves to be held gently, including yours.